we went to this place, and it was a big room, and we went in and we saw Nordic ETs. When I say or Nordic people, I'm talking about they're really pale. They got white hair, blue eyes, and they're pale like your shirt you have on. It's like really white. These people actually, believe it or not, they live among us. They go and work on government facilities, or they become a civilian. They become a person in the United States and different parts of the country, and also in different countries as well. Yeah, we were in this room and they were there, and we saw something really, 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 really interesting that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing this.
You're listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Welcome, JP, to Exopolitics Today.
How you doing, Doc? It's a pleasure to be here to share this beautiful message to humanity and to bring out this information. I got the green light, so I'm going to go on and give you the information.
Perfect. So you just want to explain to people what you mean when you say you got the green light?
When I get the green light, it's because the higher ups, they told me to talk about it, about the situation. When they say red light, I have to wait a certain time until things happen, until I give you the information.
Great. So you've been sitting on this information for a little while, waiting for the green light.
It happened Friday.
Okay.
So Friday night
All
till
right.
Saturday morning around like 11, I came back home.
Okay. All right. Well, just a couple of days then, but I'm glad you got the go ahead. So yeah, tell us about your mission and interview.
Okay, it was a total of 5 different soldiers from different branches. We had Navy, Air Force, Army. We took a white bus. We were in civilian clothes. So we had sneakers, we had jeans, we had regular clothes. They took us to another location, we went to another state. We flew over there. It's a state in the United States of America. I can't give you the right location because security reasons and because of how advanced this technology is. And, for security, we can't say the location in this interview. But maybe in the future, some other whistleblower or somebody else will give you the location, or we'll probably talk about this situation.
So you were taken to some location, and what happened with the 5 other personnel?
Well, they were with me. Everybody spoke a type of different language. We had French speakers. We had Brazilian, Portuguese. We had Spanish. We also had South Korean type of dialect language. The person that talks South Korean, he also talked a Russian and Ukrainian and that language. So we all spoke. Well, each person spoke like 2 or 3 languages. Me, myself, I speak 3 languages. As you know, I speak Portuguese, Spanish, and Portuguese. Yeah.
English.
And English.
Makes 3.
And,
Okay.
and it's quite fun to know a lot of languages, because you can go to different places and talk to different people, because when you talk with different a language that is different, you can resonate in other languages, the story and all that. So it's quite interesting. So we went to this place, and it was a big room, and the room was a metallic, and we went in and we saw Nordic ETs. When I say or Nordic people, I'm talking about they're really pale. They got white hair, blue eyes, and they're pale like your shirt you have on, your shirt, like that particular color of their skin is like really white. And these people actually, believe it or not, they live among us. They sometimes wear like a makeup or paint their hair a different color, put contacts, and they go and work on government facilities, or they become a civilian, they become a person in the United States and different parts of the country, and also in different countries as well. And they're all connected to each other. So they communicate with each other. It's like a nation integrated into different nations. So it's quite interesting how they live and how they still live happy and in harmony together, and they're living in different nations. So it's quite interesting how they do that, and they work on doing that. So they were pale there. They didn't have no makeup or no hair paintings or nothing like that, but they were wearing also civilian clothes. So that I found that quite interesting. They were just wearing regular civilian clothes, just like us. They had civilian clothes, and they had white sneakers, and they had like a white scientist kind of like robe with their ID tags, and Nordic. They're they were as white as what they were wearing, the shirt and all that.
Were they abnormally tall? Were they thin? Were they bulky?
They're like 6'5", 6'3", around there, that height. They're more like our height, but you could tell that they're Nordics. They come on different heights. They do, just like us human beings. But most of Nordics are really tall. They range up to 6'6". They look like basketball players, but most of them are tall. But they have people our sizes as well, 6'2", 6'5", and they're really muscular. Their body is more toned. They have less fat in their I guess because of their diet or what they eat. They have less fat in their body, but they're more muscular than us. Yeah, we were in this room and they were there, and we saw something really, 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 really interesting that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing this. We saw four different rooms, right? And they were metallic in color, and these rooms were oval shaped, and you can see in them. You can see in these rooms. We saw a total of four rooms, and we enter into this big hallway where you see these four rooms, and then on top of these rooms, you can see the dates. It had different dates. So I asked one of the humans. He worked in the Air Force. There's people also like that, civilians, human people working there. We saw another ET, a different type of ET, and it looked really weird, but we knew it was an entity. It was on a type of chair that moved, and he was encased. Encased. It was like he looked like a type of slime or something like that, but he was encased, and he moved around with this type of. It's not like a wheelchair, but it had like it was like a ball under it. It's a ball, and the ball moved similar to that Star Wars robot that moved with like the ball, that
Right.
technology, but it was metal. It was metal, and you could still see like a type of skin, but it was like scaly, and you could tell that he was more not slimy, but I don't know how to. It was a different entity, and he used that type of wheelchair to move around and to press whatever, and yeah, it was different. I never seen that kind of extraterrestrial before.
Like he was in some kind of environment suit or
I
something
know it
close.
was aquatic. He was aquatic by the way he was looking. So that machine pressurized what his planet feels, I guess. It was quite interesting. He was moving out of the machine. You could see like little arms coming out, and the way he was maneuvering, and it was like he's been using it for years. So it was really, really precise the way he was using the machine. So I think he's been here living or working there for a long time. So the way he was moving around, it was like he knew what he was doing. There was another room that had another one working another side, and you could see him rolling back, rolling forward, rolling back, and they got to each other. They communicated. I don't know how. Maybe by electro telepathy, and they communicated and they went back. I guess exchanging information. rooms to rooms and all that. And then you had the Nordics, and you had humanoids. We had a humanoid that looked like Indian type, but Oriental looking, and the skin was like an orangey type. Also, I saw that humanoid. So it looked Indian but Oriental with an orange skin and a greenish eye, and the eyelashes on the side were like more eyelashes than human beings, but it looked human too. That if they put makeup on and put contacts or something else and live on top of where we live, they look just like human beings. They'll pass like Oriental, South, like the islands of like Guam, that type looking Oriental. But yeah, I guess they cut their eyelashes to make it, but their eyelashes they grow really long to the sides, and their eyebrows they grow really long, more to the sides. It's different humanoids, that come from different parts of different star systems that they work with us as well. So these 4 rooms, they had dates on them, right? And we had the year 2090 in one room. We had the year 2050 in one year. We had the 1940 in one room, and then we had the 1560s. The 1500 ones was going back to like 1550s and 1560s. It was going back and forth. So I guess they were trying to get to that, I guess, time, and you could see in these rooms, right? And you could see what it looked like a picture, but it looked really real. We were excited, but like nervous because of what we were seeing, because we know you hear about the 20 and back and all that, but you don't really see how they do it or where they go. Or I was asking questions about time travel to these signs, and I was asking, hey, so this is where you go back in time and all that. He says, yeah, this is where we do time. I'm not a good fan of time traveling, and he was telling me. I said, hey, but can you manipulate? Like, if you go there, can you change something if you go to that time? He says, no, you can go in there like nothing happened, and nothing, you can't change. You can't change the outcome of nothing because it already happened. I was like, what do you mean it already happened? And then he said, no, like if you go back in time and you go there, that means you went there already. So it already happened. So it doesn't affect nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. So if you guys go back in time to these different, or to the future, to these different things, it's not going to affect the timeline. He's like, no, because it already happened. So I was like confused in a way, but it kind of makes sense, because if you go there, it already happened, or if you go in the past, it already happened. So I don't know. I got a good sense of it, and then I said, how about, like, how can you go to the future, or how can you go to the past? I was asking questions about this, see if it was legit and all that, and then you see somebody coming back. I saw somebody coming back from 2050, and he blurred into existence, and he was wearing just different clothes, and they take him really fast to another room. They cleanse him, they take his clothes off, they give him a different clothes, and he was walking towards the 1550s room. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is this? Everybody's like, what the hell? What the heck is this? Holy crap, this is crazy. So everybody was like just nervous and exciting at the same time that we have this. But I was asking, well, what are we doing here? Says, no, we're just looking. I said, this is just to investigate certain things and to see how the future of which people ends up to where, and like they have this on other countries too. I can't tell you the exact countries, but there's 3 other countries that have this type of technology, but they use it a different way. Yeah, I was asking, okay, so if you enter into a time, right, and time travel is not invented yet, so how can you go back into that particular time or forward in time? He says, wait, you mean time is not the scientist was telling me this. He said, "You mean time was not invented for human? Now, there's ETs that have invented time travel, maybe 100,000s of years ago. You have to understand that. So it's not just human beings. See, human beings got a concept of time travel. See, you guys, we have learned the time travel of sound, of capturing light, and all that. And like I thought of it, and like it kind of makes sense. You know, people that are going to hear this interview are hearing a voice of the past and a voice that we already spoke. You know, and they're going to see an image that was from the past. And you know, if you think about it, it's a type of time travel, but a different type. And we already see it as a norm, and we see it as like, I don't know, it's just, you know, capturing light and capturing sound, but it's a type. If you get into it, it's a type of time travel. You're capturing the past, and you're re-hearing the past, and you're re-seeing the past. So he put it like that. He said there's ET species that have invented time travel before us, and they have shared their time. And we captured the time on Earth before even hundreds of thousands of years we can go back. I'm like, wow, that makes sense. So only humanity, I think, probably invented time travel. I don't know, like probably 1940s or maybe early 1900s. I'm not sure where. You probably know more than me about that. But they took us to this room and they showed us that. And they asked us questions about how do you felt when you went to the Ark. The Ark has this type of technology, and it has a portal that can make it to other arcs. And that's a type of time traveling technology. And it's ancient as well, it goes thousands of years ago, you know. And I'm like, wow, this is insane if we, you know, if we're working with this and all that. I just hope it doesn't fall in the wrong hands. You know, I was telling to the guys, I say, hey, this is crazy. Because yeah, man, I'm not going through that shit. The other guys are like, we're not going through that shit. Hell no, we're good. And I was like, I would love. I asked, hey, I will totally give my time and how does time work over there? So they're saying like if you pass 10 years into one of these time, and they're saying that the years they fluctuate every couple months. They use different years and all that. So you can fluctuate different time frames and all that. So like 10 years will be like 9 or 8 hours, depending on what month you go in and what month you come back in between those years and all that. So it could be like 9 hours for 10 years or 2 years for 1 hour. So they measure it like that. And it was quite interesting how time flies in that over there. They keep the location so they know, like say we go to the 1940s or the 2050s, they know the exact location where you're going to end up, and they know the future of that location. So they know that that location is going to be there when you come back. So they look at disasters, they look at storms, they look at earthquakes, they look at different things that happen in that time frame where that location is safe in those years for it not to be disturbed. And they use a type of cloaking technology, probably like in the woods somewhere in national forest. These type of technology, and like into national forest, you can come out and come in, and it's quite interesting, Doc. When I saw this, so they were asking questions about how you felt in the Ark, and I said, yeah, I felt good. I activate here and there, and the scientist, he was like, so you think if we take you to the future or to the past, you can still activate these arcs because they're newer in the past and they're older in the future. And I was like, this is way above my pay grade. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this or not. So I felt peace, you know, like if they give me the opportunity, I'll do it. But it's quite scary thinking if you get stuck like there, because there is a possibility that it closes and it's not safe no more. And it could take probably like 80 years for them to open that same time frame back. But over here, it's like probably like 2 or 3 days. But for me, it would be like what? A long time, like 30 or 40 years. You know, a lot of shit can happen in that time frame. So That's the scary part about it. And there's a lot of people that have been in these type of mission and they don't come back. They die of old age in that time frame, but they can't say nothing about it. They can't talk about it, and they sign a waiver about it. They make you sign before you go into these missions, and you can't talk about it. And I know it probably sounds far fetched, but now with all these people coming out, all these whistleblowers with technology of UAPs, UFOs, and all that, these UFOs, they carry this type of technology of manipulating gravity, manipulating space and time. And I think people should know that. Yeah.
So what happened in your case? You were offered the opportunity to go to another time to interact with one of the arcs, and so you said, it sounds like you said no. So what
Well,
happened then?
I told them, like, if you guys give me the opportunity and give me like your word, I can come back, not stay over there. I'll do it. And I have to go with the guys I know. We're gonna go in this together. It's like, no, sometimes it's only the farthest group that you can take is 3 people. Yeah, and you guys can't take nothing with you. You guys just try to make contact. You guys come back to location and keep us updated every other day in your time over there. You guys are gonna come back older, and you're gonna see over here is gonna only pass 10 hours, but over there it's gonna be like maybe 9 years or 8 years. So it's up to you guys. A lot can happen in 8 or 9 years. You know, there's no medicine. You can't take nothing with you.
So were they offering to take you to 2050? Was that the time period that they were offering to take you, or did they tell you what
They
time period they were going to take
didn't
you?
have what time period? Mm-mm.
I see.
Those are the time periods we saw in these rooms, and yeah,
And you said there were 5 other people with you. So, were you all given that opportunity?
yeah.
Did some say yes and
There's
others no?
there's another guy, like, he's like, let's get the hell out of here. We're not doing this shit. There was another guy that was really, really interested. I guess when you lose a loved one, right? And you have this opportunity coming to you, right? You'll take it in a heartbeat. Yeah, I want to see my family member again. Yeah, I want to see my dad again. Or my mom, they died in an accident. I would love to see them and spend time with them before whatever happened to them happens, or try to stop it. You have that mentality. You got another mentality saying, no, this is not for me. This is crazy. You guys are full of it. You guys gonna leave us over there and that's it. I thought maybe this is a way they probably get rid of people sometimes. That crossed my mind, uh, take you to a different time and just, hey, have fun. uh, but I saw the person come back. So he came back for a 5-year mission, and he was out only for 3 hours. So that was quite interesting. And he came back with a lot of information, books and books. He had a backpack with books and all that.
So this is one of the people from that group of 6 that you traveled with.
No. There's a different person,
I see.
a different soldier that came back from that time frame, 2050.
I see.
So that was quite interesting seeing that. It's like you see the place, but then you see him blurring in existence in our time frame, and you just see him blur in. He just blurs in. It uses like a vibration. I don't know, sound, vibration, electro. I don't know what kind of technology. This is crazy technology.
Okay. You said that there were Nordics that had that time travel technology. So if you went back to the 1550s, for example, then the Nordics that were living at that time, you would approach them and say, "Hey, I'm from the future.
Yeah,
I'm here to do a mission.
I'm
Help
sure
me
they
get
have
back."
I'm sure they have their codes and how to approach and all that. I think once they give you the mission, they give you everything you need to know and who to communicate with in that time frame just to be safe. I'm sure they give you all that information. They just didn't give us the information because we didn't agree, or we didn't, they're still interviewing us. It's a process, I guess, of how to receive this type of mission, because it's a commitment. You're going to be there for a long time. Yeah, it's a commitment. So this brought me, like, with the technology that we have over here, about them knowing everything, when they put you in that room, remember I told you that story, that,
That's right.
yeah, they put you in that room and they could see everything that's happening with your life, and who you interacted with, or who's going to interact with you. So we have crazy technology, Doc, that people are going to be really excited, but it's just too advanced for, I guess they're trying to advance humanity to understand this technology really fast, but it's going to be really hard to integrate this type of technology to to people nowadays, because the mindset is the black hats, they're integrating this type of mindset that's so crapped up. Uh, it's hard, man. It's hard knowing that we have all this and we can't do nothing or share about it. It's crazy.
Right. Okay. So did you see all four rooms, or did they just tell you about them?
No, we saw all the four rooms are in the same room. You can see all four rooms. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
the 1550s, you can see it's lush, it's green, you can see hills as far as you can, and it's more lush. I think it's the same location in different time. So that's quite interesting.
Okay. So when you're saying these four rooms, these four rooms are actually like you walk into that room, and you're in the 1550s in some location,
Yeah.
like in the future or in the past, that corresponds to that precise physical location, where you were at that time on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that would have been June 23rd. So June 23rd, you're in this location. If you go into any of those rooms, you would be at that same location, but at another time zone. One case it would be just like green and pastures and all of that, and then okay. And so when you say you saw each of the four, but you didn't go into them, right?
No. No, you can see though. You can see it.
See
It's
it through
like,
what? Like through a door, or how did you
no,
see it?
it's open. It's open. It's like a garage door. It's like they're really open. You can see in it, but you can't see when they're coming in and they blur into existence. You can't see them on the other side because time is running different. Time is faster over there, so you can't really see when anything moves or grow, or it's like blurred, but you see the location. It blurs in and out, like you can see the location, and it's protected by something that is like a, not frame, but it's like a how you say it, like it's like a metal frame, but oval shape, and it has like a laser that protects it, like a type of laser. You can see the fluctuation of the laser when the other side hits it. You can see the laser, like it looks like water, but not water. It's not water. You can see the time from the other side touching the laser, and you can see the laser. So
Mhm.
I know when the guy came out, it was a loud noise. I was like, "Arr." And then everybody went to that room and took him out. And how do you feel? You had a doctor checking his heart. You had somebody else taking his shirt out, putting him into the other room. Another guy bringing different clothes. It was like a pit stop. Like everybody knew what they were doing. Everybody had their role of what happens when they come back out. You know.
Okay, so all four of these kind of like different areas, like you said, that it was like almost like entering into an open garage. Was
Mhm.
there, and you mentioned something blurry, so I guess we could call that the event horizon between the present time and that era that you would step through. Okay, so all of this was all in one big room, but you had like 4 different areas where you had these event horizons, and if you go from
And then you got these rooms. They look like. Let's see if I can. They look like this. They look like they
I
look
see.
to look that, but the size of a garage. They look like that, and then you have
Kind of like an oval shaped carport. You're just
yeah,
making a shape that looks like an oval shaped carport,
and then you
or
have
like
the
a tunnel, or like going
lasers
to a
right
tunnel.
here, and it's fluctuation right here. You can see in there. Yeah,
Okay,
like
so it sounds like it's very similar to that show in the 1960s called The Time Tunnel. I don't know if you ever saw that,
no,
but they had like a circular type tunnel where you'd walk in and you go through that and you go into another time.
it hugs the floor, like it's like that oval shape half, and it hugs the floor in the bottom, like smooth, like really nice. And then the other one is like right next to it, and then the other one's right next to it, and the other one's right next to it. And you're just standing
See.
like you're standing right here looking in. You're like, man, what the hell? And you're looking at all of them, and then everybody's like walking around, working and checking the date. The dates are right here on each one of them. So
Okay, so just to kind of like, people are listening to this just to describe what you said. So it sounds like 4 kind of like hemisphere carports, just one by each other with the sign on top saying 1550s,
yeah,
1940s, and
I
so
know
forth.
this shit's gonna sound crazy for a lot of people. Like, oh, this guy's not what it is. We have this, and people. I got the green light to talk about it, but
Okay,
not the location, not
okay.
the.
So
Um,
each of these kind of like garage or carports, that are like that have that hemisphere
mhm,
shape, like a
mhm.
tube. Each one has an event horizon. So, what's the technology that's creating it? Is there a machine in there that's creating all of this?
I did not see no machine. I saw this shit like connected to the floor, and I guess the whole floor is the freaking machine because it's you could feel the vibration on the floor. You could feel you vibrating like
Mhm.
you're like this the whole time. You're like and you're hearing like a hum, like everything is humming.
All right. So you had that experience. You're given that option of going, and it sounds like most of the 6 of you that you declined that offer. So what happened then?
They talked to us for a little bit. They made us sign some papers, like to not talk about the location, where it is. So we signed up papers, and we're not going to give the location. It's I guess for security reasons. This won't, I guess, won't harm nobody if somebody grabs it. I don't know what would they use it for, because the guy told me once you travel back or forward in time, you already did it before, so it's not going to affect the time frame. So if you meet anybody over there, it's because they don't know if you're from the past or for the future, regardless, because you're there for a certain mission and you coming back for a certain mission. Like I said, I guess they'll connect you with somebody from that time frame that has been there for a while already. Uh,
Okay. So
you
you connect with someone at the other end, and that would be your way of getting back once you've done your mission.
mhm. It was quite interesting to see the that place. It was really really interesting to see. On the side, I remember seeing couches on the side, people sitting down. It was like regular couches. On the other side, I saw where the 2090 was. You saw like a different type of couch. It was like you sat on it, it just hugs you. Like it hugs you. You sit in it, and it just hugs you. It's weird. It was kind of cool. Uh, we saw the different outfits also that they had. They had they had different, not costumes, but they had different closets with different shoes, different like I guess what people wear in that time frame. So when you go in, you have to change and you have to go ask when that time frame, the clothes that time frame required and all that. So that was quite interesting also to see.
Okay.
Uh,
You mentioned that the primary goal for those opportunities to go into these different time
yeah,
zones
they,
was to like find the arcs. So it sounds like that people within the covert programs are wanting to get as much information as they can about the different arcs. So I guess each of you, I mean, you said there were 5 others plus you. So each of you kind of had experiences with arcs before.
yeah, yeah. I know two of these guys that were with me. The other two I didn't know.
You see. All right. So they're trying to get people to sign up to go into the past or future to learn more about the arcs, both in the
Well,
past and future.
they went to the 1550s, but they're saying that the ark is even old, looking old right there. You know, it probably goes even way more back. I don't know how back they can go, but I think they can go a couple 100,000 years back. But you know, they're really protective of how back they go because they don't know how it looks. They don't know what to expect. What species of animals are alive? What kind of fungi? Uh, what kind of diseases they have? You know, in this time frame that they were working on, they know. I guess there's certain ET races that came back from the future, so they know what to expect. The Nordics, they know what to expect in that time frame. The other ETs came from 2050s. They know what to expect from that time frame. We know what to expect from 1940s, 1500s. You know, as human beings, we know what plagues, we know what diseases were in those particular time. So when they tried maybe to go even farther than that, we don't know. So we don't know what to expect because once you go, you're there for a long time. So you don't know, you know, what disease is or what if your body's even capable to breathe. Uh, so that's why they're really careful for that. Or they'll probably send hard to say this, but probably a dog with a leash, a long metal leash, and keep him there for 1 hour, then bring him back. Uh, just to see and study the animal or maybe a horse. They send them back, uh,
I see.
or they'll send capsules or types of vehicles over there first. It's big enough to for a type of tank or something that holds pressure to go into and then come back out. You know, and I guess they have to do the investigation first. You know, they don't know if they're falling into water, going into water. You know, things change. Time changes things. You know.
Mhm. Okay. So what happened at the end of the mission and the end of the interview? I mean, was it just, yeah, you want to tell us?
Yeah. They took us to another room. We saw different kind of plants there that were different type of trees that they had in pots that I don't think they were part of Earth because they grew different. There's one that had like a leather texture on it, and it had thick green leaves. Like the leaves are really thick. I saw that. Um, I guess it's food, maybe for probably what the Nordics or other ET races eat. They have their own area of cafeteria. We went in there. We ate. They have their location. They have their other They have different kind of like buffet kind of food. After that, we went out and we took an elevator and we went back to the surface and then we just left. We came back and they just they're really careful about not giving the location. So I'm going to respect that.
Okay. Well, great. So any final words you want to share? I mean, about these arcs, people are probably very interested to know if there's been any developments. I mean, have you heard anything about the arcs kind of appearing soon? Are they still in the process of activation? What's going on?
There's a mission. I could tell you that happened. I'm just getting the green light to tell you about this mission. We went back into the Atlantic Arc, and something interesting happened. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting to tell you before something else happens. Has to happen, I guess, before I tell you about this mission.
All right, great. So we can look forward to another update soon once you get the green light to tell us about your mission to your, I guess that would be your fourth mission.
I'm sorry about this red light, green light thing, but I just have to respect it. They're already giving me the opportunity to talk about all this. So I want to really respect that. I love the country I serve. This, for me, is the best country in the world. And I just want to respect that, and, tell you what I can tell you. I know a lot of people is going to give probably crap because of that, but I have to respect that, because it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm sure on behalf of a lot of the listeners to this interview, I'm sure people want to thank you for your service.
I'm happy with all these whistleblowers that are coming out. We talked about this, time and time again, that they're going to come out and they're going to talk, and that's what's happening. And I'm really appreciative of all these whistleblowers that have the heart to come out. I'm really happy for them. I know most of them here, your interview, other people and us talking, and they're working with Greer, and but I'm really happy for them, that they came out. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more whistleblowers coming out, and more experiences that people are going to have, and more videos that people are going to interact with these entities and beings and all that, because they want to make themselves known to people. And it's going to happen. And like I said before, share a lot of love, have positive energy about everything. I don't know, a lot of negative energy is going around, and we just have to think about what's in the end of the rainbow, and grab all that gold and share that gold with everybody with knowledge. Just be positive, and be happy with each other. Don't do people wrong, because it's gonna bite you in your butt, if you do negative things to other people. That's how I see it. And I just want to encourage everybody to think positive and to share love. That's why I always preach, share love and keep to your faith.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Wise words to finish on. So thank you again, JP.
No problem, Doc. Thank you for the opportunity, and let's go. Let's do this.
You have been listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join or start a conversation in the comments. Take the time to explore the vast library of best-selling books, webinars, and podcasts by Dr. Salla. Visit exopoliticstoday.com.